Oh, look at that move. Breaking out of the resistance. We're in it at the 99. And then I got to stop right down about 36. Oh, and I'm out. Yeah, we're just consolidating today. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to make any money with directional trades. Let's see what everybody else is doing. Let's see what AMC is doing. AMC popped up and then closed that gap. Yeah, it's just in a consolidation. Just in this pennant. And the problem is this pennant's getting long in the tooth. I mean, even if we took it from here. And that momentum just keeps dropping off. I think this is a case where the professionals are going to win. Amazon's all choppy, shows you there's no volume in the market. Just nothing going on. I want to apologize for the intermittent streaming. It just seems like it's a matter of a time of day that the streams get really bad, and then it turns around this time, and the rest of the day will probably be pretty good. But if you hop back on with me, just hit the like. I appreciate it. Not a whole lot of chit chat going on. Looks like we're streaming pretty good today, or right now. On the wrong date? I don't understand what that means. Today's just not a good trading day, though, Tommy. You could see, if you're looking at my chart, you could see this opening range, these two yellow lines I have right there. So the opening range for the day is 294 to 299. So you're talking about 5 points. So there's nothing to trade in there. We're trending, and we're just bouncing around inside of that. We're not making any highs or lows, or the market's not expanding. The one break out of the range just turned around and retraced. And I had a really tight stop on that. I lost about maybe 30 cents per contract on that. Oh, all right, cool. Mm-mm-mm. No, these are just sleepy days. Market doesn't give you anything to talk about. And all the markets are just holding on to the slight gains they made for the day, not really making any aggressive moves one way or another. So, does anybody have any 4th of July plans that they care to share? Nothing big, huh? Yeah, I was going to head out and go sailing, but got distracted with setting up this channel. So I was away from the boat for about a month. So it'll take me about a week just to go through it to make sure everything's in order. Oh yeah, but yo, let me tell you, you guys do quite a job at Colonial Williamsburg. I love that place. I went with my kids when they were young. Went back with Miss Grid maybe 2 years ago. I mean, everybody's so knowledgeable, and just really great, great place. I really enjoyed it. Just walking around, checking things out, talking to people. Sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, that's what my better half wants to do, just for kicks. When she retires, she wants to go work at Disney World and be a character or something. I don't know. She's crazy. Oh yeah, do you enjoy bowling, Allie? Bowling? Yeah, it does. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm not a bad bowler. Markets are all doing their own thing. No correlation. I don't know what it is about bowling, but it just clicks for me. And I mean, I never did it that aggressively, but whenever I go, I do very well. It's really been some time, so who knows if I could still do it like I did back in the day. But yeah, I know what you mean about it screaming American. It seems like that old time, you know, fun when things were just a lot simpler. You know, I mean, it could take you back to the late 50s, early 60s kind of feel. Except for now they have the video games in the background going off. But the uncomfortable shoes and the lousy food and the kind of close environment where you're playing, it's actually very cool. How about drive-ins? They have drive-ins around where you are. They had a couple of drive-ins around me, and then they closed them pretty quickly after I went up into the mountains. And now I see that they opened a few because of COVID. So that kind of encouraged people to open up drive-in movies again. But I guess you can't do it where real estate is very expensive and taxes are high because you need so much space. I mean, compared to a theater, you know, that square foot you use for two people, now you have to accommodate the space for a car. Oh, did they really? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, I was thinking about it too. I was looking at some areas because they have a lot of commercial property, yet you know, down around the towns cleared out, but yet you know, nobody took advantage of the property. There's really not a lot of people around there, so it doesn't encourage a lot of business. But I was thinking about theater, but I yet you know, did the math, and yet you know, just based on how many people are around and what part of the market you'll capture, doesn't seem like it's going to be too equitable. Look, we tested the opening range high again and then traded off of it. Looks like we're just going to bounce around in here for the day. The summer doldrums. Oh yeah, that's a nice idea. Yep, go ahead. Whatever your question is. All right. Well, yeah. Each time frame has a different momentum profile, um, and you want to see a general correlation between all of them. So my chart, I'm looking at the 30-second, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, and the 5 minute. I'm also looking at the 30 and the 60, but that's more of a longer term view. And actually, here we're looking at that 30-minute right now. I just popped in, and that's kind of looking toppy. You can see the momentum's rolling over. So that break on that 30, 96, 37 might be interesting. It's just we've been consolidating all day, so it doesn't look like we're going to get a whole lot of move out of it. But anyway, back to your question. So you want to work with them together, really. So the first one that's going to turn, say, bearish would be the 30-second. And then you would expect the 1 minute and then the 2 minute to follow. So I kind of look back and say, okay, I see a trade on the 30-second and I'm very bearish. And I look back and I say, oh, look at that. The 1 minute is kind of bearish also. That gives more strength to this trade. And then I look at the 2 minute and I say, hey, that baby turned bearish too. Or it could be rolling. And then I go as far as the 5 minute and see where that is. So right now everything's looking kind of bearish. So yeah, you know, that would encourage me to take a bear trade or even be heavier on the trade, get, you know, a few more contracts than I would have on if I didn't see that across the board. So that's how you use it. It's not the one you go with. So right now we see a 2 minute bear flag, right, and or even a 1 minute bear flag, and we say, hey, how strong is that flag? Well, we look over here and we say, okay, that 1 minute is pretty bearish. And then we look back and say, oh, the 2 minutes bearish too. So you know, that has some momentum. We should get some move out of that thing. And then roll back, okay, that's bearish. Right now we're just looking at it and everything's looking kind of bearish. But sometimes you look back and you could just see that one of them's starting to roll. So you know, you might not get as heavy with your contracts because it's not certain that it's going to roll. It looks like it's about to roll. So you know, now we could look at this 2 minute bear flag, and if it triggers, I would get involved because look at that 5 minute. That 5 minutes fairly aggressive also. So, I mean, you could even take the trigger on the 1 minute, but if the 2 minute triggers, it's a little more certain. So you could enter right there. There you go. And now she's moving. And on this flag, you can put your stop at the 97.71. Your entry is 23, so you're risking 50 cents. I didn't take the trade, but we're talking through it. So that's pretty much how you would do it. The problem here is it's probably going to whip back a little bit, and then you know, maybe make that 5 minute flag happen. I mean, this is still a good flag. It's just not behaving. The 1 minute is still good as far as the trigger because it didn't hit where the stop would be. It's just not behaving how you want to see a flag behave. Even the 2 minute triggered and it's bouncing back. So that's the problem with these summer doldrum days and, you know, days before the non-farm payroll. You just don't get follow through. on the trades. Oh, she does it in their backyards. I was wondering if it was done in your backyard. Oh, that's pretty cool. I was thinking about that. That's a really nice idea. I was wondering, because I got about 2 acres that's cleared, and I was thinking that'd be nice to get all my neighbors up on my mountain and have a film. Mosquitoes aren't bad at all. That seems like it'd be a lot of fun. Good morning, Mr. Martin. And to what do we owe this unexpected pleasure? And everybody who's listening to me, if you could hit the likes, I'd really appreciate it. It's kind of like a tip. Any questions there, Mr. Martin? Something we could tell you? You familiar with our channel? We're streaming to you live from the back of a sailboat. Didn't take any directional trades today. Oh wait, we did. Lost 36 cents. There's really nothing. We're just shopping around today. The day's in consolidation. Mainly because we got non-farm payroll Friday. And 4th of July. That's kind of screwing things up also. Yeah, we're laid back. Well, there's nothing to talk about. Markets are in consolidation. We're not about hype and promoting stuff. We just, I mean, it gets exciting when we get a trade, but it's summer doldrums. I'm not looking at trades right now. Oh, really? That's cool. I mean, I don't really talk about them much because I mean, everybody has to really understand them. It's what I plan on doing some videos, on some training videos on them. But I don't mind answering questions if you have a few. I don't take debit spreads, so I just take credit spreads. Just jumped into one today. Did the 41.65 by 41.80. I got 90 cents on them. But unless you know how to protect yourself on them, I really don't recommend that you do those trades. They're very conservative. And I have pretty good, I'd say I'm about 95% successful with them. Could probably still get 90 cents on them. Well, just to clarify, if the market's going sideways, then um, I mean that works in our favor. We're looking to eat up time. You could adjust the deltas. You know, I could go delta neutral or get heavy in one direction. Um, Usually, if I do that, I end up making enough money on the protection that I end up closing the spread and closing out the protection, and just look at that like a home run. Or sometimes it turns out to be an exceptional month because I get a good move after I adjust the delta. No, I don't trade them on SPY. I trade them on the SPX or the S&P 500. I just get a better payoff on the S&P 500. I haven't even looked at the SPY. I don't even know how liquid they are. I like the liquidity. I was able to get executed today nicely because I saw some volume spike in the contracts that I went after, and it was really quick and easy to get in. Looks like the S&P 500 is heading for the opening range low, which we could say that's pretty good resistance too. I would argue, if you're looking at my 30-second chart where my crosshairs are bouncing around, that this is a test. Came within 30 cents. So, I guess the other channels have a lot of pump and hype, huh? Maybe I could crank some techno in the background and get some whistles and bells. Nah, that's not really the trader I'm looking for anyway. Yeah, I like the SPX. I mean, I know lots of people who do it on different equities. There's just, you know, you want to be able to dictate that consistency. And once you understand the market you're trading, and there isn't a lot of volatility, they're really very minimal risk to the transaction. And I mean, it takes the pressure off of me taking directional trades. Hey, bring them on, man. I love answering the questions about it. I mean, it's you know, it's out there. It's part of trading. I mean, if you're one of those guys who says it's going to consolidate between 100 and 500 and then shoot to 1,000, I'm not really the guy you want to talk to. Yeah. I throw some clickbait out there. You know, and I do a little wrap up on AMC, and people like to join me to check that out. But I figure it's of use. So Isaiah, tell me what your questions are. Bring them up. Bring them up. I'm happy to answer them, man. Give you a non-bias. If you looking for cheerleader, you got the wrong guy. But I'll tell you what I think. I mean, we might as well talk about AMC because the S&P 500 is just a sleeper today. And this is summer doldrums. You're going to get boring trading days. I mean, that's what the summer does for you. Really, we should just all be sailing. So here's AMC for the day. That's a 30-second chart. Close the gap. Momentum doesn't look too hot right here. Yep, wrong guy. Later, Bagley. Thoughts on WKHS? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take a look at it on a daily because you're really not telling me what you want to know. I mean, intraday would probably be a different story. Todd Bailey's taking it to the moon. So look, on a daily, this is a very positive momentum. Looks good, man. If I wanted to enter this, I would just enter breaking the high. I mean, the low obviously is past us. So 1859, I would look for this. Look at this for an entry at 1859 if I was interested in getting long on it, and it wouldn't be a bad entry. You know, and you got this gap right up here above it at the 30.99. I mean, on a daily, I see no reason to. I mean, a nice entry would have been this trend reversal right here, and that 923. I mean, that would have been a sweet entry had I been aware of it. But again, momentum is still pretty good, and it looks like it's getting ready to make another high. I wouldn't make a move until it confirms it to me, but 1851 looks like a good entry on a daily. Hey, Mr. Wyatt, what's up? AMC looks really bullish right now on the 1 minute chart. Let's have a look. I don't see what you're seeing, man. I mean, it just looks rather neutral right now. I wouldn't say it's bullish or bearish. It just looks like it's consolidating. It's nice that it came back and filled the gap for the right here. What, is that the daily gap? Yeah, today's the 29th. Yeah, this is just in a consolidating pattern. It's bullish on the 60. The momentum is, at least. Although, it looks like it's making a lower low. So it looks like the 60 is even moving into a consolidation, which is fine. You know, I mean, it's not falling apart. And it's got to fall apart for the shorters to win. I mean, you drag this thing out, the cost of hanging on to it just increases. What I don't like is it's just in this long pennant. And I like to see him break out of pennants probably right around here where my vertical line is. But this is just a wait and see, man. There's nothing you can do. You just, you know, it's got to break out of this pennant. This is on a 60 minute. If it breaks out of that pennant, then you could be bullish on it. Mr. DeLong, off grid, what kind of fee will the hedge funds have to pay for naked shorts if exposed? Is it more of a slap on the hand in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so what you're asking me is what the regulators are going to do to them if they have improper shorts. So I don't really understand. Well, I shouldn't say I don't understand, but what I'm hearing about the shorts is contrary to what I'm familiar with how the industry runs. And I've been in the industry. I was in industry and owned an investment bank and a private equity company and a venture capitalist company for 20 years. And they were all sister companies. And it was an international operation. So I had some exposure to regulators in all sorts of situations in different countries. So the only people who could short without borrowing the security, which is what I think they're incorrectly terming naked short, are market makers. And a hedge fund can't do that. And hedge funds clear through clearing firms. So unless they borrow the short, they won't be able to short it. So I really don't see how this is possible. Unless some hedge funds are market makers and they're leaning on that and making improper shorts. But you do realize that this is electronic industry, right? So every transaction is registered. Every short is filed with the SEC. So it's really hard for them not to track this. And I don't know that anybody is really pulling sleight of hand, compromising their company for this trade or to do that, just to zing the private investor. So they'll if somebody does have illegal shorts, they may have net cap requirement issues. So that's the first thing that the regulators will look at if they violated their net cap requirements, and that would be an issue. And then if they're doing if they're shorting illegally without borrowing the shares appropriately and they're not a clearing firm, then they're going to have sanctions. And the regulators aren't going to be that bad. You know, they're not going to crush them as long as it doesn't seem egregious. And I promise you, man, nobody's out there doing anything egregious. People spent their lives building businesses and make millions of dollars. When they took on this short, they had a considerable amount of risk that they considered, and they were willing to assume. If they've reached that risk tolerance point, they close their shorts. And they're not going to dance around and try to pull something to make this work. Their careers do not depend on AMC short. I promise you. They'll take their licks, they'll move on, they'll make money on the next thing. Every day I take losses on trades and I take wins on trades. And at the end of the day, the game is to net out in the positive, which I generally do. So when I enter a trade, I understand that I have a considerable amount of risk. And I'm not going to compromise my livelihood because I don't want to take that risk, or I don't want to pay that price for that risk. And that's what you're expecting the hedge funds or assuming the hedge funds are doing, that they're compromising their business and their livelihood and possibly their freedom by breaking the law to make this short work. And it's ridiculous. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's another trade around the corner. It's that simple. It's not the end all be all for anybody. And all the firms that I've seen that closed down because of like the GameStop short or what have you, they actually just closed down the company because the business model isn't as advantageous as it used to be because people are chasing the shorts. So they closed down the hedge fund. And you don't want to stay open when you're getting all this publicity because regulators will come and audit you. And they don't come to audit you to go back to their bosses and say, no, these guys look fine. They're going to find something. Even if it's not what they're looking for, they're going to find something. So you just opened up the door for more expense for a hedge fund. So they say, all right, to hell of it with it. The business model doesn't work. We'll close down. We'll open up with another trading strategy under another name. You know, I mean, I don't want to blow up everybody's theory that you know, there's going to be some major industry upheaval. But the reality is this is a highly regulated industry, and there's not a lot of sleight of hand going on. It's very rare. And if it is, it's at such high levels that nobody goes to jail, just like with the last credit crisis. So a slap on the wrist. Yeah, that's what a censor is. It's a slap on the hand. And, you know, they don't want to blow these guys up because that's the industry. They make money with these guys. Appreciate that. I got in at 1720. I just moved some AMC profits into this. All right. See, that's good thinking, man. And I think everybody should do that. If you have money, if you've made money with AMC, take a little bit. Yeah, you know, or even just play with the market money right now. I mean, this has taken a really long time. So that was very insightful. Thank you very much, sir. Hey, my pleasure, man. So hit the like and hit the subscribe and hit the bell. And you want to support the channel? There's a PayPal app. You could send us a couple of bucks, support the channel. Basically, I hang out here and I show you my trades and we talk about the trades and how to do it. And it's about making a consistent living. You want a steadily improving equity curve in your portfolio. You know, it's not a get-rich-quick kind of industry, although you do get rich quick. But those blasts out of the water on a small amount of money, high-risk trades, just not what the industry is about. You know, they're marketing tools to sell news and YouTube channels. But, you know, don't overestimate how much money you'll make in your first year, and don't underestimate how much money you'll make in 5 years. That's the biggest problem I see with a lot of young traders. Good, I'm glad people are asking questions and talking. I love to hear myself speak. I just have a bullish bias for the day. It could get a 60 call. A bullish bias on AMC. It could get a 60 call. Well, like I said, I mean, I'm not seeing what you're seeing, man. I'm looking at the daily momentum, and it's just fading off. So if we're looking at it for the day, we want to look at a 60-minute chart or a 30-minute chart. And, I mean, you know, the 60 minutes rolling over. You got this shooting star right here, and it triggered. You know, the shooting star was at 10 o'clock. And it triggered at 58, and it's pushing down. I mean, there's nothing here to make me go long yet. You know, I'm not about catching a falling knife. I don't mind getting in at the lows, but I need to see a trend reversal. The 30-minute looks fairly negative. It's not presenting an entry for me. Yo, the 5-minute is mad negative. Looks like we're going to test this 62 cents. Then you got another. I mean, you got a lot of resistance. So I don't think it's going to fall apart, but it's not telling me to go long yet. There's nothing here that, it's not even telling me to look for a long yet, you know. I mean, the 5-minute is still very, very negative. I mean, even the 2-minute is still negative, hasn't turned. I'd look for a double bottom. If you know what a double bottom is, Wyatt, just watch a 2-minute or a 5-minute, look for a double bottom, and that'll give you an indication to try out a long. Okay, if you have a bullish bias because you feel like it's going to go up, well, I could appreciate that. But you need to be more pragmatic than idealistic. TM 1128. Best book or information on options trading? Yeah, you know what, man? I don't really. I mean, you'll probably find a lot of books that will explain options to you. The only thing I've ever read industry-wise is really like things about hedge fund guys and algorithms and setups and, you know, the different traders' opinions when they come out. I like to see back in the day what my competitors were thinking. The option thing I just picked up over the years, you know, being around people. So I never really dug into it. Yep, I got it. You just found me. Yep. I never really got into anybody teaching me or reading about different strategies. I have different plays for earnings and different plays for income and stuff like that, but it's all stuff that I've learned throughout the years, losing a lot of money. You know what they say, you're not a trader until you lost $1 million. So, yeah, I don't really have any options books that I'd recommend. But I mean, it's all pretty basic. I mean, once you understand the how options work and the mathematics of it, I mean, you know, you have all the same setups. I mean, you have vertical puts, vertical calls, you have butterflies, you have iron condors. You know, I got a few creative stuff. Long calls, out the money or in the money. I always trade at the money. At the money, I look for that 50 delta, and that's where I take the position. If you're trading a 50 delta, figure you get a half a buck for every buck that the market moves. And there's usually a lot of volume around the 50 delta, and that's important. You want to be able to get in and out. Good, man. Yeah, that's good thinking. Yeah, just go with that paper account, man. Just keep going until you're consistent. Once you're consistent, then you could then you can go live and start making money. I mean, there's no reason to spend all that money to learn. And when I say spend, it's the money you leave in the market. You know, it's a zero-sum game, and if you're not good at it or proficient, you end up losing money. And then even the software mistakes, you know, hitting the buy button instead of the sell, or you know, entering the wrong contract or the wrong equity. I mean, you'll make them all. You might as well make them on paper. Hey, but if you like my rhetoric, man, and you want to learn how to trade off grid, because I'm coming to you live right now from the back of a sailboat, then hit the like and hit the subscribe and hit the bell. And if you want to support the channel, there's a PayPal link in the description, and that'll help me get some people together so I can start putting out some training videos, which is the ultimate goal of the site. Now I'm just kind of introducing myself to everybody. But I appreciate everybody stopping in and checking me out. And any questions, man, there's no such thing as a dumb question. I'm happy to answer all of the questions. Well, there are dumb questions. Like, do you see AMC at 500 a share? I mean, how the hell could I see that? Actually, I get some comments like that, too. Oh, I see it consolidating between 100 and 500. Man, stay away from all that rhetoric, you know? I mean, all you can see is what the stock is doing right now, and based on the momentum of this security, you could see possibly where it's heading, and that's a variable. The whole industry is a probability of mathematics, you know, based on some things that we're familiar with that have statistically proven that they work out more often than not, but not all the time. So this is the biggest environment of uncertainty that you could possibly be in. And all the guys that are talking about the certainty, just beware. Every trade I take has the potential of making me a lot of money or not working. So it's about risk management. Every trade I take, I go in and I know at what point that trade idea doesn't work, and I get out and I take my loss. And that's just the cost of doing business. It's no big deal. And you know what? If you held a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, you only have to be right 33% of the time to be profitable. If you're good, then you know, if you're right 50% of the time, you're doing really well as a broker or as a trader. But if you like what I have to say, hit those likes, man. Those are my tips. Yeah, well, yeah, you know what? How about the fact, actually, you know, I keep saying I was in the industry 20 years, but I came into the industry in 95. 2005, 15, yeah, I guess 25 years I'm in the industry. 2005, yeah, is 10, 15 is 20. So 25 years I'm in the industry. Yeah. So yeah, and they're not my strategies. This is nothing that I came up with. I haven't. This is what every professional trader does. This is what they do. There might be some subtlety or nuances as far as technicals go. That's it. And then you have guys who work mainly on fundamentals. I mean, I can't fire off names, but they're. I mean, you have some really brilliant guys who analyze fundamentals and macro and microeconomics, and that's how they base their trades. Entirely different animal. But as far as technical trading goes, trading charts, trading patterns, it's the same thing. And look, all I use is the MACD, Fibonacci, and this is the Ichimoto cloud, which just gives me perspective. But none of these are used for entry. It's price action that tells me my entry. And then momentum confirms that the market is moving in the right direction. And that's it. There's no silver bullet. There's no magic to it. If you understand price action, then you could trade successfully. And the reason it works is because everybody's doing it, right? So the reason they use algorithms is so that they could see it before the human eye could see it. And they could get in before a guy who's trading physically can get in. And it's almost like front running, but it's legit because they just designed an algorithm that identifies certain patterns quicker than the human eye, and they get in. So that's legit. But it's all self-fulfilling, because if everybody's getting in under the same circumstance, it creates buying power. Boom. And the market moves, or the trade moves. It's kind of like what they're trying to do with AMC. They're trying to get everybody rallied, to squeeze this thing and get the momentum in the right direction. The momentum will shift to the upside. No shorter wants to be in a bullish momentum security. The shorters will close, increase the momentum, and the security will rise. So basically, that's the same thing as trading, right? Everybody sees the same setup. Everybody gets into the same setup, and they push it. The sharper you are, the sooner you get in. The slower you are, the later you get in. The latest guy is the guy that loses. Just remember, every time somebody takes a profit, somebody's taking a loss. So, yeah, it's not my strategies. And everybody who's selling you that great idea, stay away. Those are the same guys who could see securities, at 100 to 500 points ahead, based on technicals, no less. Not even fundamentally driven. Like, this company's worth this much because they make this much. Technically, I could see this stock moving 100 points. That's utterly impossible. You can't see that. You can't see that. I did very well when the market tanked in March 2020. MGM, Dow, UA, Apple. Good for you, man. And I bet, based on gut, travel would come back along with oil. Okay, so those are fundamental reasons to get involved with companies, which a lot of people did that. And you know what? We're sitting here looking at an intraday setup on the screen, and this is my intraday trading. But I do that as well. I have an investment portfolio that I look at entirely different from what I'm doing intraday. And actually, from the time that I ran a firm, I always got involved with companies I had firsthand knowledge with when I was a young firm. And if I like the management, I like the product. I made money on AT&T and all these companies because I used their products. I had experience with their customer service, with their management, how they accommodated me. And I decided what was a good company, what was a bad company, and that's how I bought. And then as I got bigger and the firm grew and I hired analyst teams and things like that, that's all we were doing, was we were synthetically creating that personal relationship with a company long term. And I'm talking to you, I'm missing really good trades there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, good. Yeah, we're just going back to test the opening range low. And it just looks like it's consolidating here today. There's no money to be made. So anyway, so that's what analyst teams do. They create a synthetic relationship with a company. They go in there, they dig into the company, they figure out who the management is, how good the management is, how good the people are, how happy the people are, what the products are like, how people like the product, what the market is for the product, and yet, you know, they could do it on 60, 70 companies a month. So that's what you did, man. You have that real relationship. You don't have to create that synthetic relationship. So all you have to do is look around you. And there's money to be made in the stock market just based on everything you do in your life and what you like and what you're satisfied with and what you've interacted with. And if you just invested in the long term just based on that, you're going to do very, very well. But that's investing. You can't look for pops and stuff like that. That's long term. I mean, look at Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Galactic. I love the concept. I love the idea. I did the homework. I filled up a portfolio for the long term with Virgin Galactic. It did very well for me. I mean, this is kind of a spike. This is like more of the hype. But I'm thinking like 20 years where this company's going to be. You know, I mean, China's putting up a space station. Russia wants to put up a space station. We have a space station. NASA doesn't want to run rockets anymore to service the space station. They're going to subcontract out, which they're already doing. That's what they do with SpaceX and Virgin Galactic. They subcontract out to move goods up to the space station. And that's going to become more common in addition to the commercial traffic. And obviously, these countries are going in a direction of colonizing planets. It may not happen in our lifetime, but that's the direction it's going. But a long-term portfolio, I'm thinking my spawn are going to sell it. So that's what I bought it for. I bought it for my spawn and their spawn, and that's how you invest. Entirely different animal from trading. Yeah, definitely, man. Long-term hold. It definitely paid off. I mean, in the short term. And I mean, it's really, they got approved for commercial flight. And you know, commercial flight is not going to be that profitable for a very long time. But it just shows you the direction it's going in the industry. And, I mean, it's savvy management. So you could be confident that Virgin Galactic, if not merged or acquired, will be around when the market is profitable. Yes, TM, who was born in November on the 28th. You have some good instincts. Hey, Warren Buffett, one of his biggest moves, like a claim to fame, was Gap. He made a fortune on Gap. He bought Gap because he was constantly paying credit card bills from his kids at the Gap, and he's like, "Oh, I got to check this company out because it was on his credit card bill every month." So he dug into the company and realized, all right, there's money to be made here. Oh, looks like the composite went negative. S&P is probably the strongest one out there. The Russell is still up a buck. And the Dow gave up some of its gains, but it's at about 96. Yeah, this is just a consolidating day. And we're almost at lunch. So that's probably why everything's just floating off. There's really just no momentum, no volume, or anything like that. Single mom saving for my kids. Yeah, I love that strength, man. Single mom. Good for you. Moms are the best. I've got a mom. She wasn't all that single, though. Where are you located, TM? 1128? Midwest or on one of the coasts? Anybody else out there got some questions? But if you like my rhetoric and you want to learn how to trade professionally and consistently, just hit the subscribe and hit the bell and you'll know when I'm up. I stream every day. I start at 9 o'clock, and in the evenings I do kind of an evening wrap an end of the day wrap up on the market, and I post those videos, so you'll get a notification. Everything's kind of boring. We're in the summer doldrums right now, and not a lot of action in the market. But you just check me out, Salt Lake City. Oh, that's cool. Not a whole lot of ocean going on over there. You getting hit with that heat wave? Oh, cool. I appreciate it. So, yeah, drop in anytime, man. Ask me any questions. There's no such thing as a bad question. Anything you want to know? If I sit here rambling and you're not familiar with my vernacular, because, again, I was in industry, so it's just natural speak for me. Just let me know, and I'll break it down into layman's terms. Happy to do it. So we're bouncing around the lower part of the opening range. And it's only a 5-point range, man. This is such a dull day. Dull day. But it's good for income trades because time's just burning up that theta. And the spreads just become profitable. So I guess I have no reason to complain. See, the momentum is neutral on the 5-minute right now, Wyatt, if you're still with me. So I still don't see an entry on this. See, this is interesting. Maybe it'll come down and test this low again. That would be cool, because I'm looking at the 2-minute, and the momentum is becoming bullish. So we have a divergence that could happen. This could be a trend reversal, but if it comes down and tests this low with the momentum moving up, then it's a divergence. Then a good entry would be breaking this high of 58.23. With the divergence here, you could even call this a trend reversal, and the break of the 58, well, let's get a real number. $58.24. So a break of that might confirm that the trend is changing. I would like to see it retest that low, though, without the momentum accelerating. I mean, it could very well trade through the low also. You know, that's... Yeah, in the mountains, it is beautiful. Yeah, if I'm not on the back of a sailboat, I'm up in the mountains hiding. And I actually just came down to the boat on Monday. I was up in the mountains, and no matter how hot it gets, I mean, there's just always a cool breeze coming off the mountain into the house. I mean, I hardly ever use air conditioning. Okay, here's the test of the low on AMC, if Wyatt's still paying attention. And you can see, oh, and it broke through. That's a shame. There's still a divergence, but so you can see this low here, and the momentum is kind of low. And then you have this low here, and the momentum is a little higher. So if it trades back and breaks that 58.24, that's pretty encouraging. Why is this bar not rolling over though? Didn't really reject it how I would want to see it rejected. Yeah, I don't see a long yet there, Wyatt. Hey, let me remind you. Hit the likes. I could use some likes. I'm an emotionally unstable individual, and I need outside confirmation of my worth. So hit the likes. And while you're here, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and you could hit up PayPal. It's in the description. Support the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Help me get some training videos out. Oh, look at that. S&P broke that micro trend. But I mean, only a buck move. There's just nothing worth risking your capital over. We are approaching the opening range low, but this 30-second momentum is just not encouraging. The 1-minute momentum looks like it's consolidating. Yeah, there's no trade. There's no, oh, the 2-minute looks kind of negative. And the 5-minute's pretty negative. It's probably going to break and just be real choppy and hard to trade. I'll probably avoid that trade. So this is why I stream, because otherwise I'm just sitting here staring at these little clicks on the chart, all by my onesies. Nobody to entertain. Nobody to entertain me. So I appreciate all the questions and all the new visitors. And if there's anybody else out there with a question or two. Gotta go out and check the crab pots, see if I caught some crab. Have some nice, clean, healthy protein. So that's why I live off the grid. I'm just tired. Oh, what's that? Hey, Wyatt, also bullish on ARKF. It is down today, but up 2% Friday. Okay, so when you say you're bullish, are you looking for intraday trades, or long-term trades? I mean, I don't see anything really moving today. You know, there's a non-farm payroll out at the end of the week, and that's a market mover. So it seems like everybody's just sitting on the sidelines just to try to get a feel for that. You know, everybody's still trying to understand what the Feds are going to do as far as inflation goes, and if inflation is actually transitory or an issue we're going to have to deal with over the next year or two. So non-farm payrolls will speak volumes to that. If payrolls are up, then you know, labor is expensive. I mean, that obviously adds to inflation. So anyway, that's one big issue that people are having. Seeing where it hits the bottom, huh? Well, yeah. Let's take a peek at it. ARKF. So, if we're going to consider a long-term trade, then oh yeah, this baby is totally bullish. Oh, hold it. I'm taking that on the 295s. Oh, come on. Just a whippy market. So, yeah, this kind of made a V bottom right there. Oh, this is a brand new stock, huh? Well, the daily momentum is definitely bullish. I don't know if I see an entry for me yet. So I'd have to say I have no opinion on that one, Wyatt. So I appreciate all the likes, everybody. If you didn't get a chance to hit that like, I'd appreciate it. It goes a long way with YouTube. And subscribe. See what I'm doing in the mornings. I mean, today's a very dry day, but we usually take directional trades on S&P 500. We would look at Tesla and Amazon, but they're really not moving the way they did in the fall or late winter. So S&P has been our bread and butter. And today's probably the first day that we don't take a trade and make money in the 3 weeks that we've been trading together. Even some of my regular heads are not popping up today, like my friend Zach Attack and Anthony. Sorry, not a meme stock. No, I prefer it's not a meme stock, man. I mean, I don't want to poo-poo everybody's dreams, but you know that it's kind of silly. I mean, there's a trade in it that since everybody is getting involved with meme stocks, so yeah, you know that creates the trade, but the concept is bad. I mean, they're not doing the general public a service by promoting all this stuff. Rig. I mean, is there something you want to know about it? I mean, it's just in consolidation. I would argue that that's the resistance right there. Is not bad, but the momentum is neutral on it right now. So, and I guess it's just consolidating after that that move up. And it could just be the breath before the leap. It's a nice retrace right there. That's nice and healthy. On a daily, I'd wait for a good strong break out of here. Put my stop right down around 420 or so, and see if it's going to break that. Actually, I'd like to see another retrace because that really just made it a. Now it's a resistance because we've tested it already. So I'd like to see it retrace a little bit, maybe come back to that 383, and then go up and try to break this high one more time, and that would be encouraging. Because right here you're just trading a pivot high, and you know it doesn't really constitute a good resistance. Insiders are buying like crazy. Yeah. All right. So I don't know. You'd have to define for me what you or clarify what your definition of an insider is. And how you know that they're buying like crazy. Look at that choppy market. It's still trending down. I mean, here's a lower high, lower low, lower high. See if we make another lower low. But what you're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, one key to trading is know when not to trade. And what you see here is definitely when not to trade. Although, in my paper account. All right, Miss November 28. I just want to know what your definition of an insider is, so that we can continue this conversation about insiders buying like crazy. All right, you don't want to share. Okay, so I'll tell you what my what the definition. An insider is an executive or a shareholder greater than 10%. And if they're buying, then they have to file with the SEC, which is public information. So, I mean, it's not really all that much of a catalyst. But it could be an indication that they're confident in the value of their company. But they're not buying because they know something that you don't, because they can't trade on inside information. And I mean, that's highly regulated, and the exchange regulators are watching the options transactions, and when there's unusual trades, they dig in to see who's trading that, and if it's related to the company, if that individual is associated with the company, then they're going to look at them and ask them why they're taking these unusually large trades out of the ordinary trades. And if it's based on something they know about the company, that's that's against the law. That's fraud. And I promise you, nobody has worked their entire career to get asked out of their career because they committed fraud to make a little extra money. I mean, I guess there are some stupid people that do that, but it's really uncommon. So, so you got to really look at you know, what the insiders are doing, or if that's actually insider trading. But it would give me an indication that they believe in the company. So then I would take the time to go through the fundamentals, go through the balance sheets and all the financials, break the company down, look at the business model, do some background on the management, see if I'm impressed with them, and then I might decide to get involved with the company or not. But it's not a reason to buy. You might get lucky, no doubt. You'd be surprised how much work people put into investing, professionals put into investing, hedge fund managers and things like that. A considerable amount of work goes into each company. And probably 9 out of the 10 times that they find a company that they're willing to do all that work on doesn't pan out, and they don't even invest. You know, 1 out of 10 times they'll probably invest. And based on the performance of the hedge fund or the analyst, you know, they might maybe you know, they're 70% right. So 30% of the time, that 1 out of 10 companies that they invest in doesn't even work out. So that's the amount of work that goes into investing. I know it's not marketed to everybody that way, but that's what it is. You know, everybody kind of looks at it and like, oh, that's great. A great pick. Like Warren Buffett sitting there picking stocks. It's not the case. I mean, they drill down into these. These are brilliant men who know all the right questions to ask. And they drill down into this stuff. Which you can do it too. It's just a matter of if you want to take the time. I guess I'm the rain cloud on everybody's market dreams. But, yo, be pragmatic. You don't want to be idealistic. You don't want to come into the market and dream. It's not here for excitement. If you're excited and getting excitement out of it, you're investing for the wrong reasons. It's a business. It's a probability of mathematics, either on a technical side or a fundamental side. And you have to focus mainly on your risk management. And that's how you make your money. And when you don't, that's how you lose your money. I mean, if you ever listen to any of the greatest traders, fundamental traders, oh, I forgot my point. But anyway, they look at highly probable transactions. Highly probable. You know, it's not a crapshoot. It's not a risk. It's got to be highly probable with a small risk to reward ratio. And you get a lot of guys out there who seem dynamic and exciting and show big returns, and you look at their risk to reward ratio, and you're like, yo, this guy is just taking crapshoots. And ultimately, those are the guys that end up blowing up. But you look at some of the best performing hedge funds, and they have such small drawdowns on their losing trades and small risk reward ratios. They're not taking gambles. They're not taking crapshoots. All very calculated. Yeah, there's nothing to do in this market, man. I mean, this thing is just trading in this. This is going to be the whole week. And this is why you do those spread trades, those income trades, because this is a whole week that you couldn't make money as a trader. And if you tried, you probably get chopped up. Anybody talking? Any questions? Any AMC to the moon guys? Todd Bagley. I wish that guy would have stuck around for a little more rhetoric. Oh, WKHS. I didn't see that one. Still around, Stephen? Let's take a look at that. WKHS. So he says your thoughts on WKHS. So your thoughts could be anywhere. So if anybody has a question on a security, it's always best to give me the idea that you have. Like, are you trading it? Hey, what's up, Nick? So you know, are you long term? Are you short term? You're trading it intraday? Is it a fundamental thing you want an opinion on, which would be difficult because I'm just not familiar with all of them. But this one on the daily, the momentum is bullish. That's fine. You've got a high here. The entry really would have been around 928. You know, that's where you have a crazy divergence on the daily. So breaking that 928 is where I would have taken my entry. Right now, you might be chasing it a little bit. You can call that a pretty good resistance. So you can consider taking another entry on the break of that resistance right there. It's kind of confirming that it's moving. Looks like it might be making a deviation. In order for the deviation to trigger tomorrow, if it breaks today's low tomorrow, then the deviation triggered, and the stock's going to start heading down or possibly consolidate. So if you're still around, that's cool. Do I have thoughts on the EV market? Yeah, man. You know, the EV market's hot. And you know what? I'd look at Porsche. I'd look at I'd look at Ford and GM. They're getting into the market. You know, I think if you've been around, you know my thoughts on Tesla. I mean, I love Elon. I think he's brilliant. But I mean, he's automobile-wise, he's competing with the Titans, who have excellent distribution channels and have been around. And I think he recognizes that. And I think Tesla is more of a energy storage company. That's how I look at it. Energy software and storage company. And that's what I like about them. I think that that's his intention on the company. He's either going to sell his automobile manufacturing aspect, or it's going to fade out. But I think that his energy storage is going to lend itself to SpaceX and clean energy, which is a primary focus of his. But the EV vehicle is an excellent marketing tool for him. Helped him raise a lot of money, get a lot of attention, and it's a fairly decent car. But again, Tesla's hasn't been profitable on it aside from credits, and that means a lot. So yeah, I would look at Ford. I would look at GM. Traditional cars for the EV market. I like EV trucks too, man. I would do homework in the EV truck sector, and see who's going to dominate that sector or that market. Because I mean that's the largest polluter, and the operating cost on electronic vehicles is so much less than the operating cost on an internal combustion engine or well, I guess that's the only other option. So, yeah, I think EV trucks are going to be huge. Yeah, Volkswagen, excellent choice, Volkswagen. Yep, I agree, Loop and Loop. Yeah, and those guys know how to make a car, man, and make it last. So that yeah, they're going to be good. They have good distribution channels also. So we got financials trading off and energy trading off, and the S&P is holding up. And I guess it's just all the techs in the S&P 500. Composites just flat for the day. Russell's probably the weakest out of all of them. Well, you know what, man? You want a good EV. I don't think you have to worry about getting the best guy out of the bunch. I mean, that would be great if you end up there. But, those are all long-term, good long-term EVs. But if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. I've always got something to say. I do end of the day wraps that might be of interest to you and give you an idea on the direction of the market. I throw in some of the memes because it's of interest to some people who subscribe, and I've been asked to do so. Happy to do it. I stream every day. Most days I take trades. Today's just not a trading day. This is what you call a sit on your hands day. Or if you're trading with a loved one, sit on their hands. Just going back and forth. Look at this Amazon chart. You see all these gaps. That just means there's no volume out there. Nobody's trading. Everybody's on vacation. The sleeping giant, huh? Yo, you can't get hurt throwing Toyota in your portfolio. Put a few shares away. Oh, look at that pop up. Loop and loop. Looks like you do your homework. See, I like that kind of investing, man. That's smart investing. You know, looking out to the long term, not looking to get rich quick. Breaking down the company, figuring out what's right. Looks like the stream is holding up too, huh? I've been having some trouble. Not a whole lot of reliable internet when you're on the back of a boat. Oh, I'm jealous. You gonna take a lunch break? Anybody have any questions? All right. I think Loop and Loop has a good idea. How about we take a quick break? Go grab some lunch. I want to check the crab pots and see if I'm dining on crab tonight. I'll be back at about 1 o'clock. Hope to see all you guys back here. All right, guess who's back? So I was looking at that 30-minute chart and putting in a lot of bottom tails. And the momentum looks like it's changing to bullish momentum. So we'll keep an eye on that. But today is just a dead day. If you look at what we did all day today, boink, that's it. We opened and gapped up and just stayed in this channel all day. You know, broke it a little bit, made our way for the low, then retraced. But this is what I expect, at least until Friday, this Friday. Yeah, you know, obviously everybody's going on vacation, getting ready for the 4th of July and what have you. But also you have non-farm payroll Friday, and that usually causes people to back away from the market. And the market ends up just consolidating like this. Maybe a slow grind up, slow grind down, but really no momentum, you know, no follow through on moves. So today's kind of a day that you just sit on your hands, chat with the good folks of the free nation, my free folk. Just got a fresh jar of Peter Luger sauce. Had to have it shipped to me because they don't have it in the boonies where I am. Liquid gold, baby. Check the crab traps. One little baby crab that I let go, but I got some pumpkin seeds, some panfish. Hopefully I get a couple more, so I guess I might have so hopefully I'll get a few more pumpkin seed, and I'll fry up some fish. Thank you, Tommy. Once again, you bailed me out. There you go. Both Toyota, be back later. Good afternoon. Why not is non-farm. Okay, so basically non-farm payroll is measuring how much the payroll is expanding, how many people are actually working. And the more people working, the more people consuming. The more people consuming, the higher interest, higher inflation goes. And that's a big topic right now. So, and that's the effect that people are thinking about. And then it's important too, when we're not worried about inflation and we're just worried about economic growth, more people working, the more the economy's growing. But right now, we're kind of worried about just consumption. So it's going to be interesting to see how the market reacts. But historically, the payroll comes out at 8:30, and if you watch the futures, you can see a strong move either in bonds or in equities. And then, so that move will be from 8:30 to 9 o'clock. And then from 9 to 9:30, there should be a little retrace. And then 9:30 to 10, you're looking for a break above the high or the low on whatever market was strongest. And, yeah, you know, that's a pretty good trade. And commonly taken by non-AMC traders. No, I don't want to be a hater, but professional traders look for that trade every week. And you just don't want to be, I mean, professional traders aren't trading now because you don't want to be at risk when there's a news report or a report that comes out and can influence the market, move the market. Yeah, you know, everybody doesn't run to trade, so they might as well just sit back and wait. That's their theory. You know, they'll sit back, they'll wait to see what it is. When they understand what the picture looks like and how the market digests it, then everybody will get back into trading. And that's why we're choppy. And you'll see this every month, every Friday, first Friday of the month, you're going to see non-farm payroll. And well, this is a little aggressive, but usually around Wednesday, Thursday, the market does what it's doing today. But we actually saw the effect on Monday this time. Woo, it's hot, hot, hot. Sun is just beaten down. Bitcoin banned in Mexico, as well as other cryptos. Yeah, that's interesting, huh? I mean, there's a lot of risk out there in crypto, and what's going to come of it. A lot of governments are going to be opposed to it because it's basically competing with their currency and their ability to control us through their currency. Didn't stop it from going up almost 2,000 points. How many people do you think are going to follow the lead of Ecuador? In adopting it as a national currency? No, it's not an average of everyone's pay. It's a count. A head count. They come out with a number. You'll see it tomorrow, Friday. Yeah, you know, well, you don't really make them, but every morning when I start the stream, we kind of go through the economic calendar and look at what news will affect the markets. And here you'll see Friday, ooh, look at that red non-farm payroll. So that's actually how many jobs were added or subtracted from payroll. So they're forecasting 650,000 new jobs added. We'll see. If they come in above that number, it might spur a little inflation fear. But normally that if they come in above, that's good for the economy. You know, show strength in our economy and our economy is moving. But I mean, I'm just interested in how people are going to equate this, and if it's going to spur any inflation fears. So that same issue that I'm thinking of, basically every trader out there is thinking of. So people are just backing away from trades. That's why the market's just dead. And then you got a long weekend. So nobody wants the exposure over a long weekend. Anything could happen. So it just makes for a lousy trading week. I mean, really, this is the time to go selling. It's what I normally would have been doing, but I got lassoed into creating a stream and a channel. And I met some good people doing it, so I'm sticking with it. Otherwise, I had planned on setting sail last Friday. You researched the topic and made a video about it, Anthony? Oh. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's out there. I mean, I see it all the time. But yeah, it is what it is. You could do the homework yourself instead of just somebody barking it at you through YouTube. I mean, you could just look at Investopedia or what have you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's the guys who say it's going, if it comes in bad, it's going to tank the market, or if it comes in good, the market's going to rip. Those are the guys you got to be careful of, because you don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, right now you can't really tell what's gonna happen because you don't know really what the trend is. There's an inflation fear out there. Everybody recognizes that, and strong jobs means more consumption, which spurs inflation. A lot of people calling for a recession. What's his name? Elon